It means to me the day that all the slaves got to be free and they didn't have to go through what they had to go through no more.
Juneteenth means to me freedom because it's the year after all the rest of the slaves were free. And it just means a whole lot to me.
Juneteenth is a bittersweet holiday to me because it means that black folks were held in slavery for 2.5 extra years. They were sold off from their families. They were brutalized. They were raped. They were just kept in terrible conditions. And the sweet part is they were finally freed.
Juneteenth means to me freedom. Everything that my ancestors hoped to be, one day I am, and that's free. Free to be me, free to succeed, and free to live a very empowered and powerful life.
Juneteenth for me, it's a reckoning. It's a rebirth. It's a constant reminder of the things that we've been lied to about, is the things that we should assure and seek out and find. Like I said, it's a rebirth. It's a calling for all of us people to come together. It's not just singlistically to come under the umbrella of blackness, not to be symbolic of blackness, but to actually go forth and have action to it. I believe in the verb of everything, right? So I need to see more action, right? Most people in this country, on this continent, haven't even heard of Juneteenth until they made it a holiday. So for me, it's always about that reckoning. I need to do more. I need to inspire people to do more. And I should never forget the things that our people, not only here, but globally, have gone through. That's what it means to me.
All right, so what does Juneteenth mean to me? It is a celebration of freedom. It is homage to our ancestors, all those who advocate for just our existence to still be here.
What Juneteenth means to me is really the celebration of freedom. It is a moment for our country to reflect on, at least on paper, when we were unified among all races and started the march toward a more equal society.
Hello, everyone. My name is Imani Haynes. I'm the curator here at the Lewis Museum. And to me, Juneteenth, it is a beacon of the achievements of our ancestors, the resilience of our ancestors. So that's what Juneteenth means to me.
Juneteenth means honoring who you are and being unapologetically you.
To me, Juneteenth means freedom, equality, and knowing that I matter, as well as my children.
Juneteenth means that we as African Americans now have another holiday other than Martin Luther King Day in which to celebrate us. Our holidays should not start with slavery, nor should they end with slavery, as we are still evolving. So Juneteenth means another opportunity for me to learn more about me.
Juneteenth means to me a lot of different things, but as a member of the Baltimore Jewish community, it has extra special meaning. Both the African American community and the Jewish community share a common history. We were once, in the Jewish community, we were once slaves in Egypt, and we were persecuted because of our Jewish faith around the world throughout the centuries. The African American community was enslaved here in the United States until the Emancipation Proclamation was proclaimed by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863. So we share common experiences. And what it is for each of our common cultures, both in the African American community and Jewish community, means family, means community, means values, means education, means being involved in our communities and helping other people, and helping people of different communities, different nationalities. That's what makes us all true Americans, because we care about one another. We care about who our neighbors are. We care about our communities and what needs to be done. I myself am personally involved in a community association and new library group and numerous other groups to help make this community where I live in Upper Park Heights and in the Baltimore City greater community a better place to live, to work, to play, etc. That's what Juneteenth means a lot to me and to everybody else. And it's not just for the African American community or the Caribbean community, it's for all people. Because particularly for many of us, we were once slaves, or ancestors were slaves, but we're now free, so we can exercise our full potential as God made us. That's what it means And it's what the true meaning of shalom is. Shalom in Hebrew means to perfection. So this is what the holiday is all about. I wish everyone a happy Juneteenth, and we look forward to observing it every year since it was put into effect in 2021. Shalom.
What Juneteenth means to me is that it means freedom for us, for people of color, and it also means that, to me, that we should think about the people that paved the way for us to have this freedom, the people who actually died for us to have freedom. And the reason I will always celebrate it, because it's worth celebrating. We need to celebrate. We need to, remind people who don't know. The young kids that are growing up that don't know, we need to educate them on our forefathers who paved the way for us to be free. Not just in America, but other areas where they had slaves, where we couldn't do anything.
Juneteenth means to me celebrating with my Black people and with my children to understand why enslavement happened and why did it take so long to free those people or get the information out to those people over in Texas.
Well, Juneteenth means, of course, the day when the last of the remaining African American ancestors that were enslaved in Texas, found out that it was free. So, so part of Juneteenth, what it means to me is freedom, but also a time to reflect on and celebrate our heritage, our culture, what we have accomplished, and, and things we need to focus on in the future, what we need to do better, to strengthen, our race and our culture.
Juneteenth to me is a celebration of African Americans, and by that I mean not just people from Africa. For example, Elon Musk is an African American. People forget he was born in South Africa. It means that we have overcome, and we are still to come. We are to meet our highest potential because through the struggle comes power. And we have struggled, so our future is amazing. Just tap into the past to jettison into the future.
Juneteenth is about Black culture and history.
What does Juneteenth mean to you?
Celebrating the history of Black people. Celebrating the history of Black people.
You want to say something?
No.
What does Juneteenth mean to you?
I don't want to do
Okay, you don't want to say something.
Juneteenth to me is a celebration of African American culture and history. It is a national holiday that we're so happy that is now being nationally recognized.
What does Juneteenth mean to me and my family and my grandbabies? Juneteenth is a day of acknowledgement.
Juneteenth means to me freedom for everyone. It's a day that everyone across the United States learned that they were free, and we should continue that and keep being free.
It's history. It's good history.
It's emotional. It's emotional, and it means to me that, it was kind of, I wasn't there, but it was for me, when I first found out what Juneteenth was, I kind of was emotional. That's what I mean by emotional.
Well, for me, Juneteenth is representative of living with freedoms and not even know what your freedoms are, which is something I think a lot, especially of our inner city children have, right? They have freedoms that they don't know about. So now we have an opportunity to teach them and show them from history until now how taking advantage of your freedoms are very, very important. So what about you? What does it mean to you?
Well, I thought in case I was a slave, I would be weeded out because I didn't know, because someone didn't notice, told me when I was gonna be released free.
Cool. And what about you, kid? What does Juneteenth mean to you? slaves being freed and finding out about it.
Juneteenth, people, Juneteenth, everybody party.
A party.
A big party, fighting corporate, sharing corporate. That's what we bring a party.
That's what it means to you.
Juneteenth means to me so much, as my history and my family, not only my parents, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, were all part of a time when the world was different. It wasn't free. They had to work hard and work extra hard to make things matter for me. So Juneteenth means a lot. It's about freedom. It's about the opportunities we have today that we didn't have before. It's about me also educating my grandchildren and young people in my church about what Juneteenth means. So it means a lot.
It means celebrating our ancestors, and also just learning our history. And that's what I'm going to do in the future, teach my little ones our African American history and just celebrate Black history.
Juneteenth means to me that the fight starts and it has not stopped, because as some of us who were being told that we were free, a lot of us did not know, and then some of us beforehand knew that we should have been free way longer before. So it's one of those things where it's like, this is a good thing, this is something that you shouldn't take lightly as well, but it's one of those things that reminds you that you have to keep fighting for something else than just the place.
Well, Juneteenth is a time for Black folks to finally acknowledge our freedom, not just the freedom of America through the 4th of July, because that's what we've been celebrating, but our freedom, the day that we were freed and the day that they found out in Texas, even though we were freed years before. So we should really celebrate that as well. But it's for our people. It's a day of celebration.
Hey y'all, my name is Jalil Muhammad. I am the staff accountant at Reginald F. Lewis Museum. American history and culture, but African American history and culture. They asked me, what does Juneteenth mean to you? Symbolism of red, yellow, and green. Black power, black knowledge, black thoughts, black wealth, less black carnage, more black garments. A celebration for elevation, different nations, many countries celebrating, not hating, probably debating the heritage and the races. Deeper than the slave ship on the ocean floor. Emancipation, June 19th, 1865, y'all. You feel me? So that's what it mean to me. I don't know what it mean to y'all. In the future, hopefully I could come to the museum while I work here, so they'll help, they'll let me volunteer or let me, come here and just learn things every day about Juneteenth. To be honest with y'all, I went to a HBCU and I didn't know anything of nothing about Juneteenth until I came to the museum. So please come visit us at Reginald F. Lewis Museum. I'm not really dropping this just because I work here. It's a great place. You can learn a lot. You meet a lot of friendly faces. So just come out. Thank you so much and have a great day. Shout out to Aaron too, because he the biggest with the camera. You heard me.
Juneteenth brings an opportunity to celebrate another step in American history, a step between the Emancipation Proclamation and the 13th Amendment itself. Juneteenth means one more time that we can give thought to the gap that is not between African American history and U.S. history. They are one and the same. That's what Juneteenth means to me.
Juneteenth means to me is an opportunity to remember my ancestors that came before me, and a time to have gratitude for family.
It is a day of celebration. It is a day of education for the remembrance of our ancestors who were descendants of captive and enslaved Africans in the U.S. and carrying their legacy forward as we run our leg of this track to freedom and liberation and full citizenry.
Juneteenth means to me the opportunity to celebrate the magnificent date, 2 days delayed, that we were officially made free through the Emancipation Proclamation. It's very important to me because I am the descendant of slaves and a slave owner in the Carolinas. And I just really think it's wonderful that anytime we have the opportunity to celebrate our history in truth and honesty and righteousness, that it's a good thing to do.
Juneteenth, I'm here. You invited me to come down, so this is a great experience. We'd like to know, what does Juneteenth mean to you?
Juneteenth means memorializing the heritage that our ancestors have laid upon us. to celebrate those who couldn't celebrate for themselves at a time when our skin color was considered an abomination, but now it's considered a celebration. That is what Juneteenth means to me.
Juneteenth means everything to me. It means liberation hasn't yet been met. Reason why I state that is because policies, procedures is what, affects change. And until we have something on the books that says that, black life is valued, just like our rest of our, brothers and sisters in other cultures and nations, then I guess we really aren't really free. And that is just a reminder to me that Juneteenth must be known and heard all throughout the world. Because if you don't know about it, then you don't know yourself. And going forward, I'm going to make sure that, I promote it to the fullest advantage for our future generations yet to come, because that's what the ancestors demand of us.
Juneteenth means to me, it is a historical moment of my own forefathers here in America who laid the grounds for me today to be here, to speak, to tell you exactly what it means to me. It means partial freedom that we're still striving to have, and of which I don't want to relive. It means a lot. It means a lot. It means for me to stand here today in this museum, to actually, it's almost like a resurrection, a feeling that I have inside that I need to release and tell the world that we must come together. It's imperative, it's important, it's much needed that we all need to come together. We need to build our communities. We need to build our hospitals. Everything that we fear inside, that we need to come together. And we all know personally, individually, what that means. From hospitals to reforming the cops to basically running our own communities, controlling our own children and not killing each other and standing united. And we can do this, and we will. It's a must. It's a point of no return right now. And that's what Juneteenth means to me.
Juneteenth means to me my connection with the people who were the Ashanti people in Ghana, the Wolof people in Senegal, who they came over on the ship, my great, my ancestors, and some of them didn't make it, but I am a result of those who did make it. I am a result of my great-grandmother who lived to be 101 years old. She remembered slavery. She talked about how the Peckerwoods, they were too mean and always beating people. My grandmother, who was a follower of Marcus Garvey, and my mother, who was a lifetime member of the NAACP, and she went around to Georgia, Florida, Alabama, registering people to vote, which was a very serious and dangerous job. That is what Juneteenth means to me, my ancestors, and here I am standing before you, standing strong and respecting their work that they did for us.
Juneteenth means love, family, brown, dark brown, black. It means freedom, peace, joy, love. It means healing from the past, present, and future. By being present, by being with my daughters, if God sees way, and just by living and not just existing, by thriving and not only surviving.
Next year, I am going to have a barbecue in my backyard, and I'm going to invite my friends and their children, and they're going to have to come up with some Afrocentric type of clothes and games. This is what's going to be to me, and it's going to replace the 4th of July.
I will celebrate it right here, and if I don't celebrate it here, it will be in my heart to know that, to look forward or look back to the past to bring forth a great, wonderful future for us all.
Continue to focus on, our culture by, participating in activities and visiting places, that highlight the Juneteenth culture experience, and celebrating in all kinds of ways, through the food, the festivities, everything.
As I've always have, educate, motivate, and activate those around me who need to know the story. And not only about Juneteenth, but about other days of liberation for people all over this country.
Next year, I plan to do a lot of what I did this year, which was visit multiple African American history museums, take the young people in my family as well with me to help further educate them, because there's a lot that's missed out in what they actually have in their school curriculum.
How I'll celebrate Juneteenth next year and in the future is continually learn more about Black history, understand different facets of our country and the broad African diaspora and the impact that we've had here on the country, and give back. That's how I want to celebrate the holiday. Thank you.
I will be celebrating it at home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm here visiting my daughters, and we celebrated in Mexico. I celebrated wherever I'm at. Actually, this is like something that's going to be never ending for me, for our family. Because I appreciate what they did for us, or without them in our past, we would still be stuck.
Next year, let me tell you, if Reginald F. Lewis Museum doesn't have anything, what I plan to do in the future is host a cookout, a barbecue of my own family. So I can be the big mama sitting down, carrying on the tradition of our ancestors who are descendants of captive and enslaved Africans in the U.S., so that my children and my grandchildren and my family can carry the legacy forward in this next tract of freedom, liberation, and full citizenry.
Next year, I'll go through the community again and try to engage more of my neighbors in a conversation about Juneteenth. I'll also continue to look for children to teach, more children to tutor, not only just about Juneteenth, but to encourage them to be successful as well, to feel good about themselves as readers and as children who can do math as taught by a math and reading tutor.
Next year, I'll probably, if they're doing something here, I'll be here. I'm a student at Howard HU, So if they're doing something there, I'll be there too.
Well, I actually just got engaged, so hopefully starting my family in the sense where I will be building that up, and then I just want to build on a legacy to the point where, again, when we're talking about Juneteenth, we're not just talking about, again, having just a place in all of this, but more so a legacy that can actually stand for something. So I'm celebrating it by being Black, being alive, and keeping myself moving.
Next year, probably go to another museum, maybe the Wax Museum, or maybe in D.C.
Next year, I hope to have the whole day off. This year, I have a half a day, but I'm so glad that my husband saw the news this morning and saw that the museum was open today. So hopefully next year, I can not just come, him and I can bring others with me as well, because this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Next year, we are Traveling Camp Achieve, so we are a non-traditional learning program where we incorporate special needs children and children without special needs. This year, we travel throughout the state of Maryland, Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Next year, we're throwing a big cookout, and we're going to invite all of our past achievers to join us. How are you going to celebrate next year?
I'm going to celebrate next year watching a movie.
Okay, and what about you? How are you going to celebrate next year?
All my family, my friends come over and party.
As you can see, he likes to party.
Next year, I don't know. It's the future.
Of lots of food and helping others.
I'll be celebrating with making sure that everyone knows about all the Juneteenth events around Maryland, just like I did this year, so that me and my children can continue to celebrate and recognize the day.
We plan on doing more activities to acknowledge Juneteenth, just like celebrating it here at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
We will be celebrating Juneteenth. We will definitely make this a part of our new traditions, and hopefully we will be celebrating here at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum again
to make this our new Juneteenth traditional holiday celebration.
I'm going to invite my extended family to celebrate Juneteenth next year instead of it just being my household. I want my aunts and uncles, kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids to have our family reunion here at Juneteenth hopefully here at the Reginald Lewis Museum.
Next year, I'm going to continue to celebrate as I do, putting out memorabilia as it is in reference to Juneteenth and being certain that I practice and celebrate with my children and my family and watching more and more and learning more and more.
How will I be celebrating Juneteenth next year? I'm trying to get many people in my Jewish community to be more consciously aware of what Juneteenth is all about, and maybe to have celebrations of inviting members of the African American community, Caribbean community, and others to join together so we can have a one big family where we can children can come and play with each other and to participate in common activities throughout the community, whether it's sports, literature, culture, music, arts, science, or anything else, because we like to see more of it in various communities. The Jewish community, for example, in my community, I currently don't know of any Jewish activity personally that's commemorating Juneteenth this year in Baltimore, Maryland, personally. But I think it's important that we would try to do something between now and Juneteenth for 2024 to put something together and invite the entire community, whoever is interested, to come out to join us. I think we can work together on this and simple projects. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to see next year, a year from now. So that's what I hope to achieve.
I will be honoring my loved ones that have passed on.
I plan to do more service than I'm doing this year. I did some, but I plan to do more service in and around my community.
Next year, I plan on celebrating Juneteenth by paying homage to my ancestors by taking a day off, and
she's also going to open up her new cake shop if she does.
and do something great with my children.
In the future, I plan to celebrate Juneteenth outside of serving my community because I work in museums in the history field. So Juneteenth is a work day for me. But I really plan to enjoy and celebrate Juneteenth by remembering my ancestors and doing all that I can to make them proud, especially on that day.
And how will I celebrate it in the future? By making sure that these two small ones understand our history, where we came from, and where we're going.
My name's Tanika, and I live in the Penn Lucy neighborhood. We are at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, and we're celebrating life and being free.
My name is Karen Pridgeon. I'm originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Right now, I live in Edgewood, Maryland. We are in Baltimore, Maryland, at the Reginald Lewis Museum. We have people that are here, they're checking it out. We all proud, we gonna say it loud.
Well, my name is Earth Beauty Wanda Farmer, and I live in Towson. And I'm glad to be here because, like I said, it's a resurrection of our forefathers, and I must carry on. I am coming to you live from the Reginald Lewis Museum.
My name is Nate Boston, but I go by the name of Nate Biggs, Natebigz. That's my artist performing name, as well as, I do a lot of organizational outreach to my community, teaching them cybersecurity, as well as IT fundamentals in the work that I do.
I am the Nicole Butler, educator to the masses.
I'm Tracy Camilla Johns, and I am a Maryland resident. Today we are at the Reginald Lewis African American History Museum in Baltimore.
My name is Stephanie Franklin. I live in Owings Mills, Maryland, and I am a very, very, very proud woman who was descended from captive and enslaved Africans in the U.S.
I'm Michelle, and I live in Abingdon, Maryland. We're in Baltimore at the Reginald Lewis Museum.
Jeff Bozier, straight out of Baltimore, Maryland. Reginald F. Lewis Museum, African American.
Trinell Clark, and I live in Baltimore County, Cockeysville. Reginald F. Lewis African American Museum.
My name is Angela Tates, and I'm from Baltimore County. We are downtown Baltimore on Pratt Street. It's a beautiful day. At the Reginald Lewis Museum. Great place to be.
My name is Philip Jefferson. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are in Baltimore, Maryland, at the Reginald Lewis Maryland African American Museum of History and Culture.
My name is Khadijah Stewart. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but I work and service the children in Baltimore City.
My name is Naeem, and I'm from Baltimore City.
I'm from Philadelphia.
We are right now in Baltimore, Maryland at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, one of the renowned African American museums here in the city of Baltimore, a city that is rich in African American history. As a Philadelphian, I've learned so much living here in Baltimore for the past 17 years.
My name is Daoud, or Bubba. I live in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. We are at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
My name is Aaliyah Muhammad, and where I originally live is Baltimore.
My name's Lisa, and my social is It's Summer Somewhere. We're in Baltimore at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
Regina Webb from Baltimore County. I am also with Kaiser Permanente, one of the proud sponsors of this event, as well as several others. We are live at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
My name is Lavinia Calvin, and I presently live in two places. I live in Annapolis, Maryland, but very, very soon I am to live in Baltimore, Maryland.
My name is Kanika Smith. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, born and raised. We are at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum in Baltimore, Maryland.
My name is Mark, M-A-R-K, Hart, H-A-R-T, from Baltimore City, Maryland, in the Upper Park Heights Jewish community. I'm at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum in downtown Baltimore. Great place to go and to see what's going on and be a part of history, living and otherwise, evolving.
Danella Scruggs, originally from Ohio, but I live here in Baltimore. We're at the Reginald Lewis Museum.
My name is Kia Myers, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. We are at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
Erica Lewis, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And we're at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
I'm Mark Anthony Thomas. I actually lead the Greater Baltimore Committee, and I'm here at the Reginald Lewis Museum in Baltimore, Maryland.
Christina Martin. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and we are here at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
We are in the Reginald F. Lewis Museum in Baltimore, Maryland on Pratt Street.
This celebration is history. So I get to learn a little bit of history here in this museum, and to me it's just more knowledge for me, more knowledge for my family, and it helps me to be a little bit wiser, have a little bit more knowledge and understanding, about our Black history, because you're always learning, at least I am, because I didn't have it when I was young. We really didn't have it when we were young. So it means a lot to me. It means everything to me. I'm about my people, I'm about them. I'm about my people understanding where we come from, and embracing it and loving who I am as a Black person.